Today I'm presenting an experimental game by Mina K in 6th grade called The Bard's Dungeon. Enter the Bard. No, I don't bet dragons, nor do I belt every line in rhyme. I see those side eyes, convinced I'm just a loot-toting layabout who wouldn't last 2 seconds in a real scrap. Meanwhile, out there is a dungeon so fearsome it makes those muscle-bound brutes quake in their armor. And it is calling my name. Scoff and snicker, but once I emerge unscathed, you'll be singing the tale of my grand feats. And I happen to know just the right bard to write it. The player plays as a bard who is looked down on by other adventurers. Tired of this, he is determined to clear the legendary dungeon alone to prove himself. Bard's Dungeon is a rhythmic, whimsical dungeon crawler played standing up with a PlayStation 2 Kramer Striker guitar and a Dance Dance Revolution mat. The Bard casts spells with its instrument. Spells are cast by specific combinations of musical notes. These notes are played by the guitar's buttons, which are representative of the 5 core chords, kinda like playing guitar on GarageBand. The player moves in a 3D world with 2D enemy sprites using the mat. Forward, right, back, left, look left, right, you know your directions. Player aims to clear the dungeon by defeating the enemies, like that guy. It's a 2.5D person similar to the original Doom or Cryptmaster, but your movement is locked to grids similar to Crypt the Necrodancer. The sense of direction is aided by a minimap that displays the grids. Most enemies are also displayed on the map, so the player can plan their moves, or go off and find secrets. The enemies have a detection radius. If the player steps in it head-on, player gets to cast a spell before the enemy's attack sequence begins. Diagonally, the enemy immediately begins the attack sequence. The enemy's attack sequence is synchronized to the beat, telephoning. Enemy will have various spots you can target, and 1 or more weak spots. What spot your spell lands on is determined by the tick, as the target spot moves with each beat. Your base spells will be displayed on the screen and light up corresponding to the buttons pressed on the guitar. Like bullets per minute, background music will include a distinct beat functioning as a metronome. Unlike BPM, the player is not bound by the beat, but the background music indicates the difficulty of the level. Once the enemy is triggered, the interface transitions into battle mode, which clears the background distractions and centers the enemy. All hit points, health bars, and the enemy's weak point on this hidden is displayed in this mode. The enemy begins his attack sequence, which is randomized sets of enemy moves that repeat in a pattern. In this mode, the movement path has also new functions. Once you unlock the polymorph spell, you can charge towards the enemy, goring them with your horns, and use the rest of the buttons to dodge. Like Black Desert Online, the player will perform sets of combos to cast spells. It works like a less simple version of Hogwarts Legacy's controls. They're the same established bard spells from Dungeons & Dragons and Baldur's Gate 3, etc. There are a lot of spells to work with. Figuring out what is fun, balanced, and doable will take a lot of time and playtesting. For purposes of this assignment, we will use very simple ones and allow access to them all with no progression mechanics, and only one enemy to fight against. There's still a lot to do, and only a couple weeks left, but I'm excited to make this game work. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk.